lots of jobs, none of them pay, and very few are offering more than 29 hours a week. How am I supposed to survive on that? What's the point of taking these crappy jobs? No health care, no retirement, no benefits, any kind, just barely enough to not be homeless or hungry. What is the hell of kind of motivation is that? I mean, yeah, agree. The argument is from these right now Republican governors, and Joe Biden has gone out there saying, like, I just want to reiterate that the money, that unemployment, you're supposed to be looking for a job. I mean, he is buying into their frame a little bit by doing this. From a policy standpoint, I don't think he's doing anything, but from a framing standpoint, he is, as opposed to saying, look, if there is a problem with people coming back to work, maybe you should, if you guys are buyers when it comes to labor, maybe you should be, asking the question, like, maybe you're not offering enough. And instead of doing that, he is just pretending like he's like, we're going to send out a letter that's going to reiterate the rules for unemployment and giving them a rhetorical win, which I think is, I just don't see the value in that. All right.
And it's harmful, right? It just continues this just kind of cycle of the way that we feel about class and money and dignity and work, and it's not helpful.
And it's not getting him any votes, right? I mean, that's right. That's the thing, is that, like, this is what just drives me nuts about this. Like, if there's a situation where it's like, and frankly, like, I mean, maybe he runs again, maybe he doesn't, but if he's building some popularity that he is going to cash in and go, like, call Joe Manchin and say, dude, like, I got 62% favorability rating. You better, it's time to get off your ass with the proactive.
Infrastructure time, buddy. Get on board. Yeah.
Whatever it is. Like, and we're spending what I said we're spending. I mean, if that's what it is, okay. But I'm not quite clear that he's achieving that with this. Right? I mean, is he?
Do you think it's about that? Or I mean, do you think he's got any plan for anything? Does he have any plan for the midterms? I feel like he's not, his plan is to appear like an FDR, and that's pretty much it.
I think he's running again, though. I do want to say, like, Joe Biden, like, these guys they're always running again, right? They would all rather die than not win the second term. That's just like, that's how it is. Right. He's definitely running again. And I definitely think that he thinks of some of these things as building up a narrative about this first term that makes him an inevitable second termer. So yeah. I do think there is some of that, actually.
Yeah, I do think there's that. And I think there is probably also some, like, let's keep our favorability ratings high so that we can build, some type of, legacy type of thing. Whether he's going to cash it in, to run again in 2024, if he's able to, and, or, just like getting some legislation passed, right? I mean, the clock is ticking. We got about a 6-month window, it seems to me, and then it's just over. It is over at that point, because you're going to get closer to those midterms, and to the extent that anyone is cowardly now, it's going to be even more cowardly. That is it is so sad, because there was like a 3-day period after the passage of the coronavirus aid where it was just like this sense of invincibility that they had, and it just drained out of them. Like,
you got to follow it up. The New Deal was brutal. It was a marathon. It was people introducing things, and there was always, and one would end as the other one was stopping. So there was one story happening. It wasn't like, and now the infrastructure bill, let's fight about that. And now another $2 trillion. It was like, we are doing this thing and we're not, and you're on our side or you're in the way.
Yeah, the lag time between those things literally should have been 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, it should have been like, you don't have time to regather your troops, because the Republicans had no response to the coronavirus. John Thune's out there going like, I made $8 at a 5 and dime. And, 30 seconds later, people going like, dude, that was $27 you were making. in today's money, and that was it. But he has like they've retreated,
Should have been a
and
blitz.
it should
And
have.
6 months is generous. I mean, I think it's, basically we're starting to close down now. After the summer, there'll be maybe one
Right.
little hurrah. But I think what's happening now is what's happening, and that's the door closes.
Candidates are announcing their candidacy.
Yeah, it's already messy.
Yeah, it's done.
Who's going to challenge Chuck Schumer?
He sure acts like somebody is.
Well, he's apparently really pushing that salt, which is probably indicative of him, feeling that someone's going to run against him. He's going to need that war chest.
I think it's more about fundraising. I don't think it's about, I really think that he knows exactly how strong he is. Maybe I'm completely wrong about this.
What was that ad with him running around in the jogging outfit? What was that?
A bad ad. It was like, oh, here, make some money, pal. Do a little thing. Don't forget, his base is not Northwest Queens. His base is the people who watch those geriatric ads and love them. And they're like, oh, look at Chuck. He's on a bicycle. He still looks kind of vibrant. I don't think he thinks he's getting primaried. I think he wants people to think he's getting primaried so people give him money, because don't forget, Chuck Schumer is a master fundraiser. Like this, I don't know. I don't think he's as weak as people think he is.
I don't know if Chuck Schumer thinks he's getting primaried today, but I can tell you that Chuck Schumer has been worried about getting primaried for 5.5 years, or up to this point. I mean, I am aware of how specific he was in monitoring the every time his name came up in anything remotely, remotely.
That's a good politician, though, Sam. That does not mean he's weak enough to be. He's a good politician. He's a local.
I think he's going to run like he might lose, even though he has very little chance of losing. But I say in his head, I'm not sure he knows the difference. It's like he identifies conflict, the antenna goes up, and then he's feeling anxiety about it.
Absolutely. I think that the idea, if someone was to say to him, you're only going to win with 58% of the vote, I think he would go into a tailspin.
Yeah, he's not gonna get caught slipping.
I think he'd be like,
yeah.
If someone said listen, I can see a year into the future, and you're or I can see the primary, and you're gonna only win with your opponent is gonna get 42% of the vote. I think he would have a heart attack.
Yeah, and he's spry.
Absolutely.
He's got hustle.
It also would distract him. Keep in mind, he's got a job to do, and he wants to make sure that he can focus on that job and keep raising money and keep doing what he needs to do. I think the person who needs to worry about being primary is Kirsten Gillibrand.
Yeah, interesting.
That's interesting.
She's not that interesting. She's a senator who's just like, hi, Senator Gillibrand, report to service? No?
Yeah, but she's pretty one-on-one with the Albany crowd. I know, I've definitely
big
seen
voter
her.
population.
No. But I mean, working local state legislators. In fact, it's actually one of my favorite stories about the Senate delegation was from when I was at the White House. And I think I told you this one actually on your show. We went to the General Electric plant, and Chuck Schumer was on both sides of the rope line because he wanted to be in the photo twice. Again, the man's got hustle. Gillibrand was also there, and she wasn't in anything because she's just knuckle deep and poking people, making them vote for whatever the thing was that she wanted to happen in the New York State Assembly. So I do think she has a different kind of hustle.
Right, she'll pick one bill every 5 years, and then she'll push it. And then she'll show up at the bar and drink with all the people, because true story. How many times we've all had drinks with Kirsten Gillibrand. She's so much fun. She's really great on the ground, but she picks a bill, 5 years later it passes, and that's it.